Okay, guys. Just going to do a preview of the Hobart meeting on Sunday night. 9 races. Will say I found it very, very tough, and I've actually been pretty busy most of the weekend, so I definitely haven't done as much form as I probably should have. But thought I'd pop something out there. A lot of races really struggled to work out who was going to lead, which makes it sort of especially tough. Plus, I've also had a shitload of rain. Great tip. Yeah, shitload's probably the word the Bureau of Meteorology used as well, no doubt. But I think you get the drift. So, anyway, 2-year-old. We've got sort of boys against girls. A couple of different form lines. Jeanette Barry, 22 carat. Virtually drew almost identical barriers in Launceston last time. There wasn't much between them. Pessimistic was probably went almost as well as them in the same race. Ideal Corrado wasn't beaten far last time. Maybe Jack's been super honest all season. I think over the mile the key might be the start. If maybe Jack could get over, definitely becomes the one to beat. If not, you're probably looking at Jeanette Barry, but there's not too much value in the race, so, and I'm not much help, I'm sorry. A second, Sparkling's definitely the best performed horse in the race, but obviously the draw evens that out as well. Obviously hard to line up Prince of Dawn as well. So it's just one of those races that if it's run to suit, Sparkling probably should win, but yeah, no, it's just very, very tough. Yeah, just trying to pick one out. So, like, I've been on Regal Major. I just think probably he's the one who can adapt probably best to, if it's very slowly run, he can probably work forward. If it suits a sit sprinter, he can hit the line. So, forced to pick one, I'd probably go Regal Major, but no confidence at all. The third, Resurgent Dream, resumed with a very good performance. I think the key here is, can she cross the pole horse? If she found the lead, obviously clearly the one to beat, but if she doesn't, opens it up. Swap Me, resuming, trolled okay. Does have a very good turn of foot when right, so obviously the interesting runner. And Charlie and Rock the Casbolt, probably just been a notch down on their best form of late, but both have obviously got the ability, if they recaptured some of their old form. So, tough race. You have to go Resurgent Dream, but I just think she's going to be silly odds given a couple of the queries in the race. So, yeah, but I'm really struggling to find something to tip. Like Swap Me, I just think might have the most upside in the race, so might be the one. The fourth, this is a dead set raffle. Bolton Mac really loves to lead his races. I'm just not convinced he'll find it here. And you've got, even if he does, you've got like Marty Surreal will go forward, Busted will go forward, On Full Tilt's got good gate speed. We just go through everything. Tricia Cat's super honest. Cooter Rocks actually going okay, just can't draw a gate. One More Laugh. Had legitimate excuses, it's past 3, so ignore the emergency services triple O form. Making My Mark, Kwiatkowski, Lemony Keita gets back into a C2 to 3 race. By far the easiest race she struck in a while. Olwen Jacker, it's very good last week. Yeah, so as I mentioned, I've virtually mentioned every horse. As I said, just at the odds, so I reckon a couple might go round over the odds. One More Laugh and La Ebony Keita. Both, the draws aren't the worst in the world for their relevant racing styles either. So, can see it being run to set up a sweeper. So, might just have small bets on both 8 and 11. The fifth, obviously, Scudwell Rev's impossible to go past, but barrier 10 over a mile's never a picnic, no matter how good you are. Ebony All Stars, she actually stuck to her guns pretty well in Launceston last week, despite being beaten a long way. They ran a blistering lead time, so she's going to lead and give them plenty to catch. And You've got some good honest horses. Willia Bullet's going to get a gun run. Call of Julie always races well in this grade. Sultan Fella, another Derek back from Victoria. Modern Chick, easiest race she's struck in a while as well. She's strength was okay first up in Tassie. Another swinger, had no luck in a couple of Victorian runs. So I think probably the way to go is just Sequanella 2 and 10, and probably another swinger next best. The sixth, Black booked Major Germain last time. I'm just not convinced. I'm just not overly sold on this barrier for him. So it's a bit of gate speed outside him. Crowder Boomer also shows a bit of speed. And he's not the quickest horse in the world. He's he can dig deep. So yeah, I just think you're going to have a couple of sit sprinters sort of posing up quite well in the race in the form of like Suyu 2, Lockaway Casey, even flashing out when he pointed out last week. Yeah, but still have Major Domain on top. I just got concerns about the price, but you know he's going to be somewhere thereabouts. So forced to pick one, he's the one. Stand, typically open race, like very similar race in Launceston last week. Lake Eyre ran the quickest last 400 split by more than a second. So whilst it's over off 20 metres over 2090, it's never easy. Happy to have him on top. Out to strike's very hard to line up. Obviously first up from Victoria, never had a stand start run. I've got oomph, honest in these races. Crafty Old Fox is one who caught the eye in a similar race last time, coming from virtually last. So Pushkin was well in Launceston when he found the front and beat everything else clearly in the same race as Lake Eyre. With the claim, he's not that badly in. So yeah, typical 2090 metre raffle, but I reckon I'll be backing Crafty Old Fox and Lake Eyre. The claimer, mobile conditions, on Barney Rubble, does look extremely well placed. Speed maps a little interesting. You'd imagine Regal Stride's got the speed to hold up, but still got to come back to Barney. Wash his chance in mobile claimers. His record's impeccable. An inch of his life. Tricky little draw for him, but definitely going well enough. Yeah, but do think Barney is the one to beat, and he's proven in the past he can death seat if necessary. So happy to have him on top. And the last, Country Grammar's very tough to line up. Trials in Victoria have been okay since arriving in Australia. It's not the strongest race in the world either. Houfier's, fair to say, she's probably been a tad disappointing this time in work, but from this draw over the mile. And you've even got a few here, like Triple H Fallow was pretty good in a mile race in Launceston last week. MJ's Black Chip was in that same race, probably went just as well. And even You Can't Beat a Mint. He hit the line very well last time. I don't think he's ever run a place in his life. No, 29 starts for duck eggs. But, you even see him sort of running a cheeky race. But, very tough card. As I said, so, and anybody who follows these knows that there's two race types I hate, namely being the short course stands and claimers. But just for suggested bets on the card, I'll probably say back both Crafty Old Fox and Lake Eyre in the stand, and on Barney Rubble in the claimer. But so not too much confidence in the card at all. Yeah, so that's about it for the meeting. But the other thing I probably wanted to touch on as well was, obviously I put something up about my thoughts on sprint lanes in Hobart, and as I said, to be honest, I was, my care factor is about 0, but I just sort of put something out there, like, if we just look at the big picture, like things like sprint lanes and changing whip rules, those decisions are only made to appease a small minority, and we've got absolutely no bearing at all on the long-term sustainability of the harness racing. Like, I think the biggest problem with harness racing, it's like the dinosaurs believing that what used to work will continue to work going forwards. But it just doesn't. You have to adapt. Just trying to think of other similarities that I think I've previously mentioned. Businesses like Blockbuster and Kodak failing to adapt to the market, and like Blockbuster failed to grasp that changing times of how people wanted to view their product, and Kodak has said they actually produced the world's first digital camera, but thought it wasn't worth putting the money into at the expense of their core product. And the similarities to harness racing there are scary. Obviously there's no quick fix or miracle elixir for harness racing, but it just has to adapt to its audience. That's the one thing it's not doing. Like I think I said in the spiel about the sprint lane thing that I'd have more mile racing. It's not that because I like mile racing. To be honest, from a punter's perspective, there's sometimes a bit of a raffle, but if you just think about it from a holistic sort of viewpoint, they tend to, they fly to the gate, and as soon as the speed eases, the 3 wide line starts. So there's something happening from start to finish. So for the casual viewer, it's actually makes the product look better. Whenever I speak to drivers much prefer to drive in the, mid-distance races, 2,090, 2,200 metres, as it gives them far more options during a race. But if you just, whilst they prefer to drive in those races, doesn't make it the best races for the product going forward. And that's some of the issues when they seek feedback from the industry, that most people, rightly or wrongly, will vote for what's best for them. They just don't see the big picture. So, if you just think that, trying to think of a parallel or logic giving similarities, just say you owned a takeaway shop and you say, I don't know, like making milkshakes but hated making coffee. But coffee was a thing that most of your customers wanted. Would you keep making milkshakes, or would you sort of switch your put most of your effort into the coffee side of things, as that's the thing that's going to make you survive in the long term? It's quite simple. You just got to give customers what they want, not what you like doing. So anyway, that's my little rant for the day. Hopefully we found a winner or two on a tough card, but anyway, I suppose if it keeps raining, I can always sneak down and grab a video at Blockbuster, and whilst I wait for me pictures to get developed. But anyway, poor attempt at humour, but we'll leave it on that. So thanks again.